not the symbol of mother love, not the symbol of compassion, the symbol of mercy, but the expression of raw, elemental, primal, wild, amor, Magdalena. That's our Mary in the hour of the shaman. That primal, fundamental life force, the life giver, as Jesus called the Holy Spirit. That primal life giver, that is amor. And in the Celtic tradition, Merlin, the magician, the wizard, the shaman, he was the ruler of the forest, of that wild source, and he chose in his last days as, I don't know if you'd say his successor, but as the vessel for all of his source power. He didn't choose one of the knights of the Round Table. Instead, he chose this wild, young, nature fairy. This was a fairy realm that Merlin operated in, just as shamans we operate in this backroom cabaret, which is a spirit realm, an alternate universe. Gawain or Lancelot or any of the great knights, he could have chosen them to pass all his power and wisdom to. But no, he chose this wild young girl, a product of the forest, just as Merlin was. Why? Because she represented life in its wildest and most vibrant potential. She represented the future. She represented the new paradigm that was yet not fully formed, rather than a representative of that old order, which represented the status quo, the establishment. So Merlin made a wise choice, just as Jesus made a wise choice with that wild, unfettered personification of amor as the vessel for that source power that he was channeling, that amorous force power. So the church, severing itself from the Holy Spirit's lifeblood in making their choice of Mother Mary instead of Magdalena, and making their choice of agape and mercy rather than amor, inevitably the church fathers set in motion the wheels of their own demise, of this institution that's been with us for 2,000 years. And now inevitably we look around and we see not only that institution crumbling, but all these other patriarchal institutions that have been ruling this paradigm that we've been living in for not just 2,000 years, but all the way back to the days of Abraham. Marriage, patriarchal institution, crumbling. The family, crumbling. Our political systems, all around the world, these patriarchal systems, crumbling. Paralyzed. Endless bickering, nothing gets done. These patriarchal institutions cutting themselves off from the goddess to keep themselves in power. But the power dissipates and stagnates, and founders on the rocks, government at all levels, local, state, federal, all around the world, withering on the vine, the decline of all these patriarchal institutions, very predictable, inevitable, all cut off from that wild, vibrant source power of amor, of the goddess, of that Holy Spirit, unfettered, yes, uncontrollable. But with that obsession to control and that obsession to maintain this established order, this established patriarchy, many people find that unsettling, to be living in these apocalyptic end times. The shaman knows that the crumbling of the old order, this what we're going through now, this end of that old paradigm, exciting to feel this all coming unraveled, coming undone. Because look what awaits us. Look what the bubbly life force that we're feeling mixed in with this stagnant decline, this bubbly life force, that goddess force, that amorous force, that wild nature forest fairy who cannot be contained, who will burst through and is this extraordinary promotion that she brings with her, this goddess, this eternal Magdalena, that eternal vessel for our wild, amorous hearts guzzling. How exciting that with the decline of the old, finally the door has been cracked open and she is pouring through into our hearts if we are fortunate enough and aware enough to recognize her and wise enough to invite her in and to surrender to that firestorm of Amor, of the goddess, of the Spirit.